Hey everybody, it's Captain Shane here. I'm back in the 737-800. This is the level up, and I am using the latest beta of X-Plane. So, right off the bat, I can see we've got some issues with the lighting in here. The MFDs are really blown out, and there's nothing I can really do to fix that. They're going to have to update these to account for the new beta lighting system later on. Nothing I can do about it now, we're just going to fly it. Anyway, we're here at Houston. This is an airport that I rarely fly out of, and shockingly enough, there's ATC here, which is pretty cool. I never get ATC out of Houston, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's go over the flight plan for tonight. All right, so we got cost index of 13. We got 19,140 pounds of fuel, 38,000 pounds of cargo. And we're looking at runway 9, Indy 8 departure out of Houston, heading into Cincinnati. Flight time's about 1 hour and 54 minutes. Put that in there for later. All right. Let's take a look at the weather for tonight. So currently at Houston, we have winds 160 at 10 statute miles visibility. Clouds broken at 2200, which is giving us our modified or marginal VFR. That should not be any issue for us though. Altimeter 29904. That's some information, Mike. I need to update that because it was Lima a little while ago. The winds 170 at 9. Okay, we can expect runway 9 for departure at this time, but we'll call ground for that to confirm. In Cincinnati, the weather is even better. VFR 6 statute miles visibility. Okay, few clouds at 10,000 feet. Altimeter 3001. Yeah, looks good. Weather looks good. And nothing in the taps that make me concerned about weather being an issue getting in there. All right. Let me get out my checklist here. I've already got the aircraft set up, ready to go so we can expedite. Last thing we're going to look at here is the taxi takeoff and departure brief. So bringing up Navigraph here. We're currently on the ground at the East Cargo Ramp. I'm expecting a pushback, tail facing east. Taxi down Echo Bravo or Echo Alpha. Right turn onto November Bravo. Left turn onto Sierra Foxtrot. Right turn on the Sierra Bravo. Left turn on Sierra Charlie and depart on runway 9. But we'll get that taxi confirmation from the controller once we call ground. We are on the Indy 8 departure. Our instructions here, runway 9, climb on heading 087 to 600 feet for radar vectors to rank. All right, which is pretty well north of the airport, so we'll expect radar vectors after that. Initial altitude was 4,000 feet. Okay. Let's see what this is. Same thing. Okay. So I'll keep the taxi chart up so I know where the heck I'm going. But I think we're ready to call for the tug. So taxi takeoff departure brief is complete. All right, let's go ahead and do before start pushback checklist. So I get the
ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Lower MFD is set on engine. APU coming on now. Doors and windows. Doors are closed. I'm going to leave my cockpit window open for a minute. Yaw dampers on. Electric hydraulic pumps A and B.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Parking brake. Set. Wait for APU gens. Let's make sure our controller's still online here. 121.7. Houston ground, Atlas, Giant 3672 radio check.
555.
AVG 5x5 as well. We'll call you taxi just a moment here. Actually, we need to call him for push per my ATIS or per my IFR clearance.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
I'm gonna push about there.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
And Houston ground. Giant 3672 with information mic request. Push and start at the east cargo ramp, tail facing east.
Giant 3672, Houston ground. Pushes at pilot's discretion, call ready for taxi.
Okay, we'll call you for taxi. Giant 3672. Interesting, because this says contact 121.7 for push. Okay. Just following instructions. Yeah, Dylan, the lighting issues are because of the latest update, so I think they need to fix that. It's the beta and it's not so great. Alright, anyway, wheel chocks removed. Actually, I think I need my cockpit window closed. Alright. So APU gens 1 and 2. Wheel chocks removed, ground power unit removed, anti-collision lights on, trim air on, APU bleed is on, and just start switches go ignition left, ACARS is on, push and start clearance is good, so parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Yeah, it isn't a PDC. I really don't care enough to bother with it. Alright, anyway, let's get on with this. Engine start. Let's go starting engine number 2. Hey. Starter valve open. Rotation N2. Okay, full push is good, fuel on. Okay, good light, EGT, fuel flow. Starter valve closed on 2. Good start on 2, starting 1. Rotation N2. Okay, good oil pressure on 1, fuel on. EGT, fuel flow. Okay, starter valve closed on 1. Good start on 1. At the start checklist. Wing and engine IAH not required. Packs on left and right. APU bleed is off. Engine bleeds are on. Isolation valve closed. Engine generators 1 and 2 are on. APU is off.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, waiting on that. While we wait on the ground signal, let's press on flaps and slats. Hey Jeffrey, updating level up could be more straightforward. Yes, it's a mess. Alright, step trim. It's 4.75, aircraft nose up. Takeoff data reconfirm 142, 143, and 149 on the V speeds, and those are on the PFD. Taxi ticket departure brief.
Oh, it's disconnected and bypass
No
pin has
change
been removed.
as of yet.
Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
I see him. Hey, TARA. Taxi light. Lower MFD. System. Alright, taxi clearance. Let's get our hand signal real quick. Hand signal's good. Houston ground. Giant 3672 ready for taxi runway 9.
Giant 3672, runway 9, taxi via Echo Bravo, November Bravo, Sierra Foxtrot, Sierra Bravo, Sierra Charlie.
Okay, taxi runway 9 via Echo Bravo, November Bravo, Sierra Foxtrot, Sierra Bravo, Sierra Charlie, Giant 3672. Alright crew, exactly as briefed. Alright, parking brakes released, taxi clearance is good. Let's give her some juice and then we will check our nose wheel steering and brakes. Okay, nose wheel steering left, right, brakes. Okay. Flight controls. Ailerons left, ailerons right, elevator up, elevator down, rudder left, rudder right. Flight controls checked free and clear. So we need to make a turn on Echo Bravo, which should be this guy right there. Left turn right here. Wow.
1486 requesting, site.
Wow.
Aircraft calling Houston ground one by one, completely unreadable.
Yeah, no kidding. Let me turn that down a little bit. Alright, so I'm on Echo Bravo now. Next turn is going to be November Bravo. That's all the way down at the end. I think one of the reasons I...
United 1486, ready for push to start with Mike. United 1486, Houston ground, hello. Tell north.
Oh.
Winterproof telling north, United 1486.
Hey, this is November Bravo, coming right. Kind of a long taxi here, guys. Sorry. I'll push him up a bit. Let's do a little Southwest taxi, huh? Southwest Airlines taxi. Wow, that light is bright. Woo! They need to fix that. That's too much. The night lighting is...
Houston ground,
Yikes.
Unit 1486. Do you want us to push onto the apron or onto the taxiway? Unit 1486, it's going to be pushed into the alleyway between the terminals. So, yep, it's going to be pushed tail north, so you're going to be facing south on the ramp. Roger, thank you. We got a little confused there.
Clearly. Yeah, looking for November Sierra Foxtrot, which is coming up. November. I think that's it coming up here. Yep, this should be it. Yep, Sierra Foxtrot. And we're going to take that all the way down to Sierra Bravo, which is a little ways down here. Alright. Before takeoff checklist, lower MFD on engine, LNAV, and VNAV. Actually, we're going to do VNAV and heading select, because we need radar vectors to the next course. ICAS, no alerts. Exterior lights, hold on that. We're lit up enough, I don't want to make it any brighter than it needs to be. So this next one should be Sierra Bravo. Yep, Sierra Bravo.
Giant 3672, contact center 132.77. We'll see you.
3277 for Giant, 3672, so long. I'll do that in a second here. Let me get this turn done. Okay, parking brake. Switch over. Okay, before takeoff checklist, let's complete it. Exterior lights. Woo!
Kingston Center, Iberia 312.
Right, radar on.
Iberia 312 Heavy, Houston Center, hello, maintain file 370.
Houston Center, good evening. Giant 3672 holding short runway 9 at Houston, ready for departure.
Giant 3672 Houston Center, wind 170 at Niner, gust 21, runway Niner, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff. Niner 3672, and just to confirm, we fly runway heading and you'll give us vectors to the first fix. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Roger. Alright, clue. We are clear for takeoff. Let's do this. Yeah, I don't like the lights at all, Dylan. I don't like it. Okay, we have a fair amount of gust from the right, so we're going to put a lot of crosswind correction in for this. So expect a lot of left rudder and a lot of right aileron for the takeoff roll, because the winds are gusting from the south. a fair amount. 21 knots. Okay. You're gonna windsock. Yep. Turn right heading. Okay, start the clock. Alright, crew. On the brakes. Alright, engine stabilized, brakes released, set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. Oh yeah, I can feel like crosswind.
Knots.
A lot of hold. Yeah, a lot of left rudder, guys. A lot.
V1 rotate. Positive brake.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Lot of wind, lot of gust.
400. 1,000.
Giant 3672, we're in our contact, say altitude leaving.
Climbing through 1,400, Giant 3672.
Giant 3672, clear direct busy, climb and maintain flight level 370. I'm sorry, that's the wrong departure, clear direct range, climb and maintain flight level 370.
Alright, that sounds a lot better. Clear direct rank, climb maintain flight level 370. Giant 3672. Alright, crew. Cleared rank, let's go LNAV. Laps 1. Laps up.
1,000 to go.
Altitude reset 370. A little fast, correcting. Looking for 250.
Number 20 Sierra Juliet, cross Audad at 7,000. Cross Audad at 7,000, 420 Sierra Juliet.
Just watching that flight director, guys. Looking right at it.
Southwest 439, Bergstrom Airport, 12 to 1 o'clock, 23 miles, report in sight.
We do not have the airport in sight for Southwest 439.
Okay, autopilot coming on, command A.
Southwest 439 at Jedi, cleared ILS, runway 18 right approach.
At Jedi, cleared ILS.
Okay, after takeoff checklist, landing gear up, flights off, handle off. Flaps and slats are up, retract. Auto brakes off. ICAS, no alerts. Exterior lights. Window and altimeters.
Hello, 1486, ready for takeoff, runway 9er.
United 1486, Houston Center, wind 170 at 9er, gust 21, runway 9er, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 9er, United 1486.
Just adjusting some brightnesses in here. That's a little better.
Center, American 312, did you clear me from
Hey,
the
Christopher, how are
ILS?
you? Christopher Kazanis.
Not yet, just stay direct
Nice to
jelly
see
on
you.
further descent and a vector on the final for 8 right.
Stay firm, direct jelly.
American 1449, Monterey is offline, leave from airspace, radar service terminated, for exchange approved, see ya. For exchange approved, have a good one, American 1449.
So as I'm climbing, the climb thrust goes up. So I like to adjust my hardware throttles that match where the auto throttle's at, right? So as you can see, the pointer shows where my hardware throttle's at, but I like to put it right here and keep it there in case the auto throttle kicks off like this. See? And we don't lose our throttle position too much. Because it has kicked off on me before. There we go. Alright. Center fuel pump's coming off.
Saturday night with 2165, the Congress turns around for Nova 2S.
I'm sorry, I did not catch that. Say it again, United 2165.
Yeah, 2165, of course, you're going to leave the flight deck for a minute and a half.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Air Canada 995, Houston Center, welcome aboard.
Oh, altimeter standard.
United 1486, radar contact, say altitude
After
leaving.
takeoff checklist complete.
United 1486 at 3,500 feet.
United 1486, roger, climb and maintain flight level 340, clear direct bottle.
Maintain flight level 340, clear direct bottle, 1486.
Air Mexico 312, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000 or Mexico 312.
Alright, crew, looking good. Climbing through flight level 200 for 370, 298 on the
Southwest
climb speed.
439, wind 160 at 21, gust 28, runway 18 right, clear to land.
Here's our, this is our track so far.
Right, Southwest 439.
November 0, Sierra Juliet, cleared ILS, runway 11 approach.
That's us right there. And it does appear that the Memphis Center's online, so we'll have to deal with them here in a little bit. No ATC in Cincinnati, but that's not unexpected. It's pretty late. Pretty late over there on the East Coast.
Number 0 Sierra Juliet, cleared ILS runway 11 approach.
Cleared ILS 11 approach. 420 Sierra Juliet.
Center radar at 2165 is back on the flight deck.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good evening, Kingston Center, Southwest 350, flight level 320. We're about 120 nautical miles northeast of the Alexandria VOR.
Southwest 350, Houston Center, what?
Houston Center, Mexico 445, we're with you 370, about 42 feet northwest of San Angelo.
Air Mexico 445, Houston Center, hello, radar contact position as reported.
Oh, hey, Chris, great question. So, I'm actually using a hybrid setup for the throttle setup. So I fly MD-11s most of the time. So this is actually a MD-11 setup, sorta. I pulled out the third throttle here. I'm gonna turn my webcam back on so I can show you what's going on. Let me show you what's up. All right. So the flap handle is actually ProDesk Sim MD-11. And with the detents, the spoiler handle is MD-11 ProDesk Sim from the detents. The actual throttle handles are the stock Bravo handles, but the knobs are Flight Sim Factory from Etsy. Because when I bought the ProDesk Sim MD-11 throttle pack, and I actually have a video on this on my YouTube channel, I was very, very, very disappointed with the throttle levers that came with it. You should watch my reviews on that. I do not recommend it. So honestly, if you find the Flight Sim Factory MD-11 set, it's perfectly fine. And I'm using two different sets. I got like $200 worth of throttle pieces on this thing.
312,
it's kind of a waste of money.
Yeah,
it's a mix of both.
3000, you're 5 miles from Eelpo.
This is the third throttle lever. When I fly MD-11s, I add it. But when I don't have an MD-11, I take it out, or else I get confused by an extra throttle lever that doesn't work. So I just kind of move the number 3 over to the number 2 for 2 engines, and when I'm going to fly a third, I put this one in the middle and move this one over to the third position. Because I do fly MD-11s most of the time. Hi crew, climbing through flight level 270. Here, let me get a link for that video. I think you need to watch it, Chris, because if you spend a lot of money for the ProDesk Sim 1, I think you're going to be disappointed with it. And it's not cheap.
Air Mexico 312, you did catch descend to 3000.
Down to 3000. Air Mexico 312.
Air Mexico 312, turn additional 10 degrees right, vectors 1 correction.
Additional 10 degrees right.
Here, I think I got it right here. So that's the first video, and then I actually made an update.
Giant 3672, Fort Worth soft line, leave my airspace, radar service terminated, for exchange approved, see ya.
I say again for Giant 3672.
Radar service terminated, for exchange approved, see ya.
Okay, over to Unicom 228. Giant 3672, thanks for the service. Good night. Hi crew, heading over to Unicom.
Air Mexico 312.
Looking good here, climbing through flight level 300. About a 25 knot tailwind on us, which is exactly what the weather forecasted. Yeah, and here's the update I made to it. If you can 3D print your own, by all means go for it. But if you do that, are you just gonna do knobs, or you can do the whole throttle lever? If you do the throttle lever, you're gonna have to account for the electronics in here, right? Because you have thrust reverser levers, you have the toga switch, you got other things you got going on with that, so you're gonna have to integrate that into it. Might be a kind of a pain. Okay, crew climbing to flight level 335 or 370. It's dark out there.
Thousand to go.
Chris, hold on, man. Don't. Hold on. Before you order that, let me look at it. Because I'm telling you, I had a really bad experience with ProDesk Sim. So let me look at what they're selling for the 737. Oh, it does look nice. Those do look pretty good. Huh. Oh. Oh, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I see what's going on here. You're gonna have problems with something. Alright. Watch those thrust reverser levers again. Watch these things, okay? There's no retention on these at all. These are gonna be a huge problem here, because that's the problem I had with the MD-11 ones. These things have no retention. See how they just flop around? That's the Achilles heel of the ProDesk Sim throttle levers. They're mostly okay, but their thrust reverse levers do not stay in a detent. They flop around. They have no retention at all, and it gets to be a big problem. That's why I'm not using their stuff anymore, or because of that. Uh-oh. Oh, am I not streaming anymore? Uh-oh. I hope I didn't lose anybody. Everybody still here? Everybody still here? I think I closed my browser that had that in there, but yeah. So those reverse thrust levers are going to be the problem with that stuff. So buy at your own risk. The rest of it looks good. The other issue that I had was the 3D printing seemed really cheap. There was a lot of leftover plastic on stuff. Like they didn't clean it up and trim it up very good. That was a problem. To me, the amount of money that you're spending on their stuff isn't worth the quality of the build. And let me show you what I'm talking about with the thrust reverse levers. Let me show you. I have an example here for you. So this is the stock Bravo throttle lever, right? Look at the retention on the reverse thrust lever. Okay, ready? See, nice and tight. Clicks into position. Nice and tight. All right. Now, watch this. Hold on. Hold on now. Okay. This is the ProDesk Sim MD-11 one. Watch this thing. Absolutely no retention at all. And it would flop around on me. It wouldn't stay in position. So I had this thing coming in and out of reverse. Right, you literally have to hold it there or it just flops right back. There's no retention. The fit and finish is just not good on this for what you pay for it. no good. So, there you go. Just buyer beware. That's a lot of money to spend, so. I completely agree. I don't like the fact that the thrust reversers are toggle switches, essentially, right? I wish that they had a different axis on them, for sure. But what I do like about X-Plane that Microsoft Flight Simulator gets completely messed up, and it's a pain in the butt, is you actually use your throttle lever axis as your thrust reverse, so you can modulate it. So, and again, you can't do this in Microsoft Flight Simulator because it sucks. So if I'm in idle, right? Oh, here, let me webcam. I'll just leave this thing on. So when you throw your reversers out, this becomes your modulation for the reverse thrust. So once I throw the switches, this is the same as me raising the lever all the way up from max, because you can actually modulate your reverse thrust. It doesn't have to be reverse idle or max. On most aircraft that have reverse thrust, you can modulate it by increasing or decreasing how much lever you put into it. So your main throttle axis becomes your modulation for your reverse thrust, which I like, right? But your switches are back, and then you go back to reverse idle, and when you're ready, you just flop your switches back down, and then you're back into forward thrust. You can't do that with Microsoft Flight Simulator at all. So I know it sucks that these are toggle switches, but you still do have a reverse thrust axis, essentially, with your main one. Well, I don't even know what SPAT is. I have Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have one add-on for it, and I cannot stomach. I cannot stomach that sim, so I just don't fly it, which is a shame. Because I like the PMDG 777. It's a good. The 777F is very good, but it's in a sim that's not good. If I could have PMDG software in X-Plane, I wouldn't fly anything else. But, you know, there's no money for it in them here. Alright, crew, flight's progressing nicely. We're going to be entering Memphis Center here pretty soon, so let's get that radio frequency keyed up. 132.55. And we'll have that on standby. And as soon as we get the PM, we'll swap over. Play around with the auto throttle a little bit. Auto throttle's off. You know what this sim needs? X-Plane needs a good old-fashioned DC-8 or 707 that doesn't have auto throttle, so I can spend the whole flight messing around with my throttles trying to keep the speed and everything trimmed out. I miss that experience with all these modern planes. Bad as a standalone switch programming, but I don't program switches or axes. It's so bad everything's programmable, but if you know the coding, see, why do you need all that? That's the inherent problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator. You shouldn't have to use all that crap to have a thrust reverse axis. That sucks. Ugh. Such a beautiful sim. Microsoft Flight Simulator is such a beautiful sim in such a horrible flight model. Ground handling. All that other nitnoid crap. I just wish the rest of the sim could live up to the beautiful, beautiful clouds and the terrain and the models. It's such a letdown. Such a letdown. on the flight models anyway, right? It's gotta beat on the flight modeling. These planes feel like planes in this game. You know, when you're taxiing them on the runway, you feel the momentum. You can see the, I don't know how to explain it, but like one of the biggest letdowns for me in flight sim is the way the aircraft taxi on the ground. I don't know what that is, and I haven't seen any improvement in that in Flight Sim 24. But I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and oh, hi Maddie. My dog's here. I'm gonna go ahead and contact Memphis Center now.
Center Spirit Wings 2119. I just sent out via private message. I could try to pre-file again. I don't know why that did not work.
Memphis Center, good evening. Giant 3672 with you, flight level 370, approximately 60 miles south of Little Rock. Uh-oh.
IAH 3672, you are under contact and last stated position, level 370, proceed direct Pinby.
Trek Pemby. Giant 3672. Alright crew, we got a direct, let's do it.
Spirit Wings 2119. Spirit Wings 2119,
Direct
squawk
Pinby.
0721, and what is your aircraft type?
Let's see how much time that saves us here.
Alright, squawk 0721 and A320 Neo.
Not bad. Save us a few minutes there. Alright crew, direct Penby. Yeah, I have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 as well. I don't have 24.
1365, heavy wind 170 at 12, runway 18 right, clear to land.
Runway 18, right, clear land, FedEx 1365 heavy.
Airways 2119, you are radar contact about 10 miles to the south, merging to the northwest of the McKellar. You are Federal 370, descend via this Chesney to arrival, Nashville landing south, Nashville altimeter 2999.
Alright, descend via the Chesney to arrival, and sorry about spawning in like that, Spirit Wings 2119.
And Spirit Wings 2119, what was your departure field?
Departure was Las Vegas, McCarran.
Thank you.
So we're going to be with Memphis Center for quite a while. Got here. Top of descent's at 440Z. So about 43 minutes till top of descent. I'll tell you what. We're at cruise here. Everything's good. I'm gonna step away and make myself a cocktail. I need something to help with this long flight here. I'll be right back. You guys have the aircraft. Don't tell ATC I'm gonna get a gin and tonic, huh? One moment.
X1365 Heavy, welcome to Memphis, exit left enable, taxi to the FedEx ramp via November Victor, cross 27.
Alright, exit left enable November Victor to the ramp for FedEx 1365 Heavy. Have a good day.
And just make sure you are clear to cross runway 27 at November.
Cross runway 27 in November for FedEx 1365 Heavy.
Oh, that's way better. Little beverage for the flight. Ah, delicious. Can't fly without a drink. Something relaxing about just flying at night like this. I love it. That's why I like to fly cargo. It's always at night when my kids are in bed, done with work, just chilling up here, looking out the window.
Showing 2119, contact Nashville approach 119.35, a great flight.
Alright, 119.35, Springs 2119. Thank you about everything.
And Giant 3672, I'm going to be hopping off. The instruction I would be giving you once you got a little closer would be cross Pimby, Federal Tree 10.
Yeah, I'll put that in Pimby at 310, Giant 3672.
Giant 3672, frequency changes approved, I got your flight. And any other aircraft on frequency, Memphis Center is offline, radar service are terminated, frequency change for approved, I got your flight.
Alright, Memphis Center, have a good evening, Giant 3672, so long.
Sent the message to me, but the CTAP frequency is 19.
Alright, ATC's heading off for the evening. That's okay. I know it's really late there. It's 9 o'clock here in California, so it's got to be 11 or midnight there, right? So here's kind of a fun phenomenon for you to look at. You'll notice that we're flying straight ahead here, but our flight path is actually over to the right a little bit, right? You guys understand why? So this is direction we're actually flying through the air. We're pointed this way. It's because of this tailwind we got that has this left quartering tailwind component, right? It's pushing us to the right. So we have to fly left of our flight path to maintain that course. And you can kind of just see it on the HUD here, where we're flying on heading 040, but our track is 045. This is the track and this is the heading here. I think that's always fun to, when you can visualize the winds by looking at the HUD like that. You know what I'm gonna do? I don't want to cross Pemby at 310. That's gonna get us down low too far out. Let's go back to 370 and recalculate the top of descent. Alright, I like that better. I like that a lot better. Let's stay up higher longer so we don't have to be putzing around at a lower airspeed. That moved our top of descent about 5 minutes further out. That's fine. looking good here. Top of descent, 238 nautical miles out. Still looking at 440, so 31 minutes. I typically do my descent planning and approach checklist stuff about 10 minutes before top of descent. We'll go over the arrival, the approach plate, landing data, all that stuff. Playing around with the cabin control temperatures to see if it goes up at all. Yeah, it does appear to be going up. Yeah, it's going up. Look at that. Do you feel cold? See what that does. Give that a minute, see if it changes. right, getting close. 20 minutes till top of descent, so 10 minutes we'll do the planning here. I've been to Cincinnati many times now with PrimeAir. I know the airport pretty well. Shouldn't be too much of an issue getting in there. Hey, Nanny Ray, how are you? Just up here cruising tonight, enjoying peace and quiet. It's been a rough couple of weeks for me. We're about 20 minutes out from descent into Cincinnati. We left Kingston, Bush Intercontinental Airport about an hour and 3 minutes ago. Oh, sniff and draws. I don't do passengers, man. I only fly cargo. I have 38,000 pounds of cargo on board. It's just me and the co-pilot. No food service. It's a short flight anyway. We'll be starting down here in about 15 minutes. Sorry, no beverage service tonight. This is Premier cargo flight, man. Here. Yeah, there it is. Alright, crew. About time to start our descent planning. Alright, crew. Let's do this. Descent and approach checklist. Okay, landing data. So let's take a look at our weights right now. We're at 141.2. Current fuel on board is 10.5. Looking to burn another 2,000 pounds on the way down. That's going to make our landing weight about 139,000 pounds. So I'll use sim brief here. Let's throw 139 in here. And calculate our landing stuff. Okay, V approach speed is 151, which means our VREF is 146. Auto brakes 1. That's going to be runway 9 at CVG. So let's do flaps 30. 146 for VREF. Okay, auto brakes 1. Current weather at CVG. Information India is active. Wind is 140 of 13, so a little bit of a quartering headwind. 2909er. Uh-oh, what's this? Oh, auto ATC. I don't care about that. Alright, 2909er, visual approach, runway 9, but we're going to shoot the ILS anyway. Okay. Airport info, we're landing on runway 9. I would love to get stopped around taxiway Delta. I think we can do that. Because if we do that, we exit Delta and head straight down to the Amazon ramp, which is where we're going to be parking. We're on the Sargo 4 RNAV arrival. So crossing restrictions at J. Rico, Harry, there, and Sargo. Waxel at or below 13,000 and at Calf's landing on runway 9, which we are, is at 8,000 feet. We're going to be shooting the ILS runway 9 approach. So when we get to our initial approach fix at JADOP, we should be around 5,000 feet. When we get to the final approach fix, which is CAPME, we need to be at 2,400, which at that point will pick up our 3-degree glide slope down to the runway. The decision altitude is going to be 1083 baro. MSA from the CVG VOR is 2,900 feet. In the event of a missed approach, we're going to climb straight ahead at 2,000 feet, then a climbing right-hand turn to 3,000 feet on heading 140 and outbound the CVG VOR radial 109 to Calf's intersection, which is DME 19 from CVG, and hold. Okay, ILS frequency is 111.9, final approach course is 096. Let's go ahead and put all that stuff in now. So let's do our minimums, which is 1089. 1083, correction, 1083. .1083 set. Altimeter's 2909er. That's set. ILS frequency 11190. Final approach course is 096. And let's do the radio 109 CVG. Landing data is good. Arrival and approach briefing is set. Decision height and minimum ascent altitude have been reviewed. Seatbelts are on. Alright, so we're just waiting on top of the set now. Should be in 5 minutes. We are ready. Any questions, crew, on the briefing? go ahead and reset our altitude down. There we go. Hi crew, throttles to retard. We are headed down. Finally. Took a while, huh? Okay, looking good on a vertical path. Looking great on speed, on path, on vertical. The good DME to CVG is 130 miles out. Okay, descending to flight level 270. Okay, we're gonna level up for 230 for a few minutes. We head back down. Okay, heading down. Throttles to retard. Okay, we'll just do a quick step down to flight level 220. Then we'll level off again. And in about 18 miles, we'll have another descent. I'm thinking a gin and tonic this late in the night before bed is not ideal. I'm a little sleepy right now. Okay, leveling off at 220. Next step down will be in about 14 miles. Okay, next step down in about 5 miles. Okay, throttles to retard. Heading down. Okay, crew heading down. About to pass through flight level 200. Let's do one last check of the weather before we lock it in. Yeah, it has not updated. Oh, there we go. New weather. Information Juliet. 160 at 12 gusting 22. Oof. That'll be fun. Alright, we got a pretty decent crosswind here. It's 70 degrees off the nose. 12 gusting 22. gives us a 9-knot headwind component. Let's add a few knots to our approach speed. All right, altimeter's 29099er. The VREF is 146. Let's fly this one at about 153. 153 and 154 for the approach speed, to account for the gust. Okay, there's 15,000 feet. Ascending. Okay, there's 12,000 feet. Get a little fast. I'm gonna add some speed brake in real quick to slow us down. Makes me bake the track.
Thousand to go.
Let's go ahead and reduce altitude down to 5,000 feet. VNet should be corrected for the 10,000 feet crossing here shortly. Let's go. Exterior lights all on. Set approach checklist complete. New speed is 240. That's below 10,000 feet. I'm gonna turn this approach course to 180 for now because it's so close to the localizer. I don't want us picking up this VOR radio instead of the localizer here, so. Okay, speed's a little fast. Correcting. With the speed brake. Track. Okay, 8 miles from Jet Up, which is our initial approach fix. Let's go ahead and switch over to CTEP now. Okay, new altitude is going to be 3,000. Let's arm approach. Correction, VOR localizer. Airspeed's coming down now. Looking for that localizer. Hey, VOR localizer. Localizer capture. Let's go approach. Looking for the glide slope. Laps 1. Runway in sight. Hey, glide slope capture. Getting really fast here. Speed brakes extend. We're really fast. Let's get some gear. Let's get some gear down. We need some drag. Okay, speed brake, drag, and armed. Laps 5.
2,500.
Okay, landing gear down 3 green. This is before landing checklist. Before lander's arm. Auto brakes 1. Waiting on flaps and slats. Really choppy here. Speed 180. Let's keep the speed going at 160. Laps 15. And down to final approach speed 153, flaps 30. Wow, choppy. Okay, flaps 30, altimeter's cross check 29099er. ICAS, no alerts, landing clearance. Cincinnati traffic, Giant 3672 on final. 9. Okay. Auto's coming off. Ooh, that wind shift. Correcting. Get back on the localizer.
500. 400.
Wind is shifting a lot.
Wind shear.
Okay, go around.
Wind shear. 300. Wind shear.
You're up. Flaps 15. Autopilot engaged.
1,000 to go.
Flaps 5. Alright. This camera heading 180. Flaps 1. Cincinnati traffic, Giant 3672 going around, windshield alert, low final. Okay, well that was fun. Windshield alert on short final there. We're not going to fly the published miss approach. We're going to keep it in the VFR traffic pattern. Alright, let's go speed. Altitude hold. Heading 270. So that wind, I don't know what was going on with that wind bit. It was shifting very violently, and as we got close to the runway threshold, we got a windshield alert, and that's an automatic go around. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. I'm not in the mood to divert right now. Okay. There's the airport, and our runway is right there. Very choppy winds right now. That was fun. I can see the wind being a problem here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this one more attempt, and if we have another issue like this, we're going to divert to Indianapolis, which is our alternate. I'm going to go ahead and check the weather there now. Where's 1-4? Oh, is it closer to go there or to Louisville? Nah, Indianapolis will work. Alright, speed 180, flaps 5. Let's get her slowed down a little bit. Okay. Heading 360. Try it again. Cincinnati traffic giant 3602 turning base runway 09. Alright, let's see if we can get it a second time, huh? Okay, let's set up for an entry. 066. Okay, using reserve fuel. There's localizer, approach mode armed. Overshot the localizer a little bit, we'll come back to it. Oh, we way overshot that, holy moly. I guess I should have made my crosswind leg a little bit longer, huh? I tell you what, I'm gonna help out the autopilot here. Let's see if the wind cooperates this time. Auto throttle's coming off. Airfield sight. You're down. Fly slow. Flaps 15. Looking for 153. Wow, that wind. Flaps 30. Yeah, right now it's showing a 30 knot crosswind at 180. That's why we're so far off the center line here. The wind is shifting a lot. Come on, wind, come in for me. Cincinnati traffic, Giant 3672 on final, runway 9. I think we might get the wind a little bit better this time.
Approaching minimums. 200 minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Floating, floating, floating.
5.
Wow, that was rough. That wind is all over the place. Video breaking. Reverse normal. Ugh, man, that wind, it was just constantly moving. I had a 12 knot tailwind on landing, and that was not in the forecast. So the wind was doing like a 360 around the. It's X-plane weather updates. I'm making excuses here for a terrible landing, but we got it down. Didn't bend too much metal. But yeah, that wind, I couldn't. It was hard to fly because it just kept shifting. Cincinnati traffic, Giant 3672 clear, runway 9. Okay, after landing clearance, spoiler handle. Retract and disarm, flaps coming up. Auto brakes off. Radar off. Landing lights. Okay. Anti-ice is not on. APU. Coming on. Clock stopped. Step trim. Make this turn and I'll get that adjusted. Don't need to hide anymore. Looking for taxiway Delta. It should be coming up. Okay, maybe it's Echo I'm looking for. Echo. Echo to Delta. After landing, checklist is complete. Man, that was a crappy landing. I wonder what Smart Cars called that. 189? Well, that was nice. I'll take that. Our VREF was 146. We touched that at 145. So there you go. Just the wind kept shifting is my problem. Right? We had a 30 knot tailwind on about 10 miles out. Then we had a 30 knot crosswind. Then we had a 20 knot tailwind. We still landed with the tailwind, and that was not forecasted. So I was constantly chasing the wind, shifting all over the place. That's why the landing was so bad, and it got long because the wind was shifting back onto the tail, which it was not forecasted to do. It should have been 160 at 16, gusting 22, not 220 at 20. I would have flown a different runway if that was going to be the wind I was expecting. Hey, we got some go-around practice in there. Oh, there's the tech. I don't like this new lighting, man. It's making it harder to see stuff. Okay, parking brake set. Parking checklist. Transponder. Off. APU gen. 1, 2. Fuel switches. Packs. Premier. Window heat. Probe heat. Yaw damper, electric hydraulic pumps, anti-collision light, anti-ice not required, IRSs off. Those lights off. Wood chocks ground power unit. Okay, parking brake is set, released, ground power is on, APU is off. All right, guys, we made it. That was not my not my best landing, but we got it down. We did have a go around on the first one due to wind shear warning on short final. We went around through the VFR traffic pattern, came back in, shot another kind of ILS, but it was more like a visual, and chased shifting winds all the way down. But we got it down. I think I'm gonna call it a night, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the flight. Sorry about that bad landing, but the go around was kind of fun. I don't get to do those very often, so when you hear wind shear, that's automatic. Push them up. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I do these flights all the time. I got an A321, multiple 737s, MD-11, 757. I got all kinds of stuff to fly. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one, though. Bye-bye.